one that lasts, why resolutions fail, and how to design one that lasts. Toastmaster Annie.
Toastmasters, and most welcome guests, good evening. Now, a few weeks ago, I stood on this stage and I talked all about habits, resolutions, and outcomes. So I'd like to start with a question. As we move now towards the end of January, what percentage of resolutions do you feel have already failed by the end of the very first month? So by a show of hands, those who believe it's less than 50% that have failed, raise your hands. It's the optimistics in the room. Those who believe more than 50%, therefore, raise your hands. There's more pessimistics. So keep your hands raised if you believe that number is more than 75%. Two people. Keep your hand raised if you feel like that's more than 90%. So it's testing out who's ultra pessimistic. So no one had the hand up there. So it's reported, in fact, that over 90% of all resolutions fail by the end of the very first month. And I can attest to that. I'm a culprit as well, so it's happened to me in the past. I've set well-intended resolutions and they've failed by the end of the very first month. So for me, I don't necessarily feel like it's an intention problem. I feel it's a design problem. So what I'd like to do is share a very quick 5-step framework which helped me turn goals which I used to abandon into outcomes which I now live. So of this 5-step process, the first step of the framework is a question. It's quite simple. It's what do you want? But it's saying what do you want with absolute clarity? Because what clarity does is it removes ambiguity. Because I don't believe people fail from a lack of desire. I feel goals often fail for a lack of clarity. So as an applicable relative example, I set a resolution at the beginning of the year, and it was to be a better public speaker. Now, from that statement, can you tell how generalized that is? It's not very compelling. So to reframe that and add clarity, I would suggest that I want to be a better public speaker, and I intend to, through the attendance of Toastmasters, through committing to roles every single week, and through committing to at least one speech per month, which is a commitment that I've made with all of you. Now, can you tell the distinction between the first statement and the second? That second statement gives much more clarity, and it also gives direction. It offers momentum as well. And that leads to the second element of the framework, and that's why do you want it? Because reasons come first, answers come second. And often while clarity tells you what to do, it's emotion that makes you do it, isn't it? And sometimes we can know what to do, but not do what we know. So for me, the reason why I want to be a better public speaker, quite simply, is because it will profoundly improve my professional opportunities. Subsequently, it will improve my influence and also my leadership skills, but also my relationships as well. So it's more than just professional. And then that takes us to the third step of this framework. And this is a question, and it's another question, because ask better questions, get better answers. But it's a question that people don't necessarily like to ask. And it's what stopped us in the past. So it's what limiting beliefs are we clinging on to? Because quite often, it's not a new ability we need. Rather, it's a new belief. Because whether you believe you can do something or you believe you can't do something, you're right. And I heard a nice simple quote, it stuck with me, and it's change your story, change your life. Because the story tells you what you're deserved of. The story tells you what you can and can't attest to or achieve. And that story over time, it becomes a belief system. And that belief system can turn into limits. So for me, I developed a belief years ago, and it was quite simple. It just suggested it's safer for me to stay quiet, especially in meetings, because if I stay quiet, then I won't be judged. I won't be cast aside. But that belief, it no longer serves me. So I need to challenge it. I need to create a new belief to override the old one. And the way we do that, quite simply, it's by taking new actions, which then that leads us appropriately to the fourth element of this framework. And it's the strategy, it's the plan, it's the how do we attain what we want. Because a decision not acted upon is simply just a wish, it just remains a wish. And I believe you should never leave the sight of a decision without doing something which commits you to the attainment. So for me, when I set the resolution, when I set the goal, I committed to it, and I did that through signing for that next role, through saying, okay, I want to do this speech on this specific date. Because then again, going back to the first one, it gave me momentum, it gave me forward motion. And that leads us then to the very final step of the framework, the fifth step, and it's change your approach until you get what you want. So initially it's having sensory acuity to know, is what you're doing working? And if it's not, change it. And if that doesn't work, change it. And if that doesn't work again, changing it. You keep changing it until you get your outcome. And this is where I think evaluations are such a powerful tool for me. Because the evaluations in Toastmasters, I don't take the feedback as a verdict necessarily. It's an opportunity to improve. It's an opportunity to refine the speech. It's an opportunity to get better, to evolve. So that is the 5-step framework. Now, to summarize it very quickly, it's what do you want with absolute clarity. It's why do you want it, because reasons come first, answers come second. It's what stopped you in the past, what limiting beliefs are you clinging on to. It's how do you want to attain it. It's that plan, do something which commits you. And finally, it's change your approach until you get what you want. Because I believe that success shouldn't be what you tick off. I believe that success should be measured by who you're becoming as a result of what you're attaining. Because goals, you reach them, but once you reach them, they disappear. Whereas an identity is what you carry, and what you carry is what you live. Thank you. Back to you.